You hear the name before you ever see the face. It moves through the market stalls of Capernaum like smoke. Not a shout, not a proclamation, just a name passed from mouth to mouth with that strange combination of excitement and confusion. Jesus of Nazareth, a carpenter's son. Someone says he healed a man. Someone says he cast out a demon in the synagogue, and the demon screamed before it left. You don't believe in rumour. You've been disappointed before. But something in the way the woman at the bread stall drops her voice and whispers his name again, something in that makes you put down what you are doing and walk toward the lake. Level 1. The curious. You stand at the edge of a crowd and you can barely see him. He is sitting on the bow of a borrowed fishing boat, pushed just far enough from shore that the water acts as a wall between him and the people pressing forward. You are not pressing forward. You are at the back, watching the watchers. Then he says something and the crowd goes completely still, and in that stillness you take one step closer without meaning to. You don't know what just happened. You go home. You lie on your mat. The sentence he said replays until you fall asleep with it still in your mouth. Level 2. The follower. You come back the next day, and the day after that. You are part of the crowd now. One of those people who follows a teacher around hoping someone will say something that will fix whatever is broken inside them. But here you are when he feeds 5,000 people with 5 loaves and 2 fish you are close enough to eat. It is real bread. It has weight and texture. The 12 walk through the crowd with baskets that never empty. When it is over, you look at the person beside you and neither of you can speak. You have begun to rearrange your life around where he is going next. Level 3. The learner. There is a day he sits on a hillside, and you are close enough to hear every word. He begins with 8 statements. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the meek. Each one lands like a stone in still water, and you feel the rings expanding outward through everything you thought you knew about God. He tells you that you are the salt of the earth. He tells you that you are the light of the world. He says these things the way you would say them to someone who had forgotten who they were. Not as a compliment. As a reminder, you have started to repeat the things he says in the dark before you sleep. Not as prayer exactly, more like pressing a thumb against a bruise, making sure it's real. Level 4. The sent one. The day he gathers 72 and says he is sending them out 2 by 2 with no money bag, no extra sandals, no staff. You are one of them. You have watched him heal for months. Now he is telling you to go do it. The person beside you is someone you barely know. You are both terrified. In the first town, a woman brings her son, who has been shaking for a year, and she looks at you with eyes that contain every prayer she has ever prayed, and you open your mouth and speak his name, and the shaking stops. When you return, you are laughing before you can speak. You tell him everything. He listens and then says, "Rejoice not that the spirits submit to you, but that your names are written in heaven." You sit with that for a long time. Level 5. The named. There is a morning he comes down from the hill where he spent the night alone, and he looks at specific people. He looks at you. He says your name. That is the entire appointment. You are an apostle now. You will be with him constantly. You will watch him tired. You will watch him weep. You will sit at his table. You will hear the teachings he saves for the 12, the ones he has to explain 3 times because none of you understand them the first or second time. He silences a storm with 2 words, in peace, be still. And the 12 of you look at each other in the soaking silence of a boat that was almost capsized, and the question that forms in your chest takes up permanent residence there. Who is this that even the wind and waves obey him? Level 6. The inner 3. There are things he only shows to 3 of you. He takes you up a mountain, just him and Peter and James and you. His face changes. It does not just glow, it becomes something the word glow was not made to describe. His clothes become a white that has no earthly equivalent, and standing with him, visible, present, are Moses and Elijah. Moses, who has been dead for over 1,000 years, both of them talking with a carpenter from Nazareth about what is going to happen in Jerusalem. You put your face on the ground, you stay there until he touches your shoulder and says, "Get up. Do not be afraid. When you look up, there is no one there but him." You come down the mountain carrying something you have no words for yet. Level 7. The one he loved. At the Last Supper, You are close enough to lean back against him. This is not performance. This is 3 years of walking the same roads, sleeping in the same courtyards, watching the same sunrises. You know the sound of his breathing. When he says one of you will betray him, and the others ask through you because you are the one who can ask, you lean in close and he tells you. He dips the bread. He gives it to Judas. He says, what you are going to do it quickly. Judas takes the bread and goes out into the night, and the door closes, and you watch the dark and you don't understand what just happened, but you remember it. You will spend the rest of your life writing it down. Level 8. The one who ran in the garden. When they come with torches and swords, you run. All 12 of you run. One sprints away into the dark wearing nothing, leaving his cloak behind in someone's hand. You are on a road moving away from the place where they are taking him, and your feet are doing it before your mind decides you know where he is. He told you earlier tonight that this was coming. He told you exactly, and still you are in the dark moving the wrong direction. The night is very long. Level 9. The one who denied. There is a fire in a courtyard, and you are standing near it because you could not fully leave. A servant girl looks at your face in the firelight and says, you were with him, the Galilean. You say no. You say it a second time to a different person. When they press you a third time, you invoke a curse on yourself and swear that you do not know this man. At that exact moment, a rooster crows, and across the courtyard through a doorway he turns and looks at you. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't need to. You had told him 3 hours ago you would die before you denied him. He had told you before the rooster crowed you would deny him 3 times, and you had argued about it. And here you are on the other side of that argument. You go outside. You weep the way you weep when something breaks that cannot be unbroken. Level 10. The one at the cross. You are the only one of the 12 at the foot of the cross. His mother is beside you. He looks down and sees her, and then sees you. And with everything it costs him to speak, he says to her, woman, behold your son, and to you behold your mother. From that moment you take her into your own home. That is the assignment he gives you at the end of the world. You watch the soldier put the spear into his side and see blood and water flow out, and you make note of it, the blood and the water both. Because later you will need to tell people you saw it, and it was real and you were there. You stay until there is nothing left to stay for. Then you walk home through a city that doesn't yet know that everything has changed. Level 11. The resurrection morning. You are running before dawn because Mary said the stone is rolled away. You get there before Peter. You look into the tomb. You see the linen cloths lying there and the face cloth folded by itself, and you stand at the entrance, and the evidence in front of you is assembling itself into something your mind refuses to finish. Then Peter goes in past you, and you follow, and you see, and you believe. Later he finds you on the shore of the lake and calls out from the beach, and Peter jumps into the water without waiting for the boat to land, and he is there, crouching over a charcoal fire with fish already on it. And he says, come and have breakfast. Nobody asks who he is. You all already know. Level 12. The scent on a hillside near Bethany, he gives you the last words. All authority in heaven and on earth has been given to me. Go therefore and make disciples of all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, teaching them to observe everything I have commanded you. And behold, I am with you always to the end of the age. You watch him rise. A cloud takes him from your sight. 2 men in white tell you to stop staring at the sky. You look at the people around you, the ones who also ran, who also wept, who also ate breakfast on the shore. And you understand that the 12 baskets of leftover bread were never just about bread. You spend the rest of your life writing it down. You write about the beginning. In the beginning was the Word. You write about the wedding at Cana, the water becoming wine. You write about Lazarus, the foot washing, the vine and the branches, the spear, the blood and water, the mourning at the tomb. You write so the people who are not there can believe. One final morning you are very old, older than any of the others, all of them gone now, scattered, martyred, buried in cities whose names you never knew. You are in Ephesus and the churches are holding, and the letter is being copied and carried to places you will never see. You pick up your pen. You write, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. You have been writing that sentence in your mind since a morning on a hillside when a man you had never seen said one sentence, and a crowd went still, and you, standing at the back, not a follower of anyone, took one step closer without meaning to. You took that step, and now you are history.